Before the rings, before the dynasty, Michael Jordan was already rewriting basketball history. In 1988, he conquered it, alone. What does it look like when one man takes on an entire league and wins? The NBA has never seen a season like this before, or since. Over his legendary career, Michael Jordan built a resume that still doesn't sound real. 6 NBA championships, 6 finals MVPs, 10 scoring titles, 14 All-Star selections, and even a Defensive Player of the Year award. And while he maintained that insane level of dominance for nearly his entire career, many still point to the 87-88 season as his absolute individual peak. It's tough to single out one year when every season feels like a masterpiece, but this one stands apart for how completely he took over the league. In 87-88, Jordan could have probably run for US president and won. Instead, he decided to completely dismantle the NBA. There may not be endless highlight reels or stat tracking like we get today, but trust me, there's a reason this guy's greatness still echoes decades later. He was unstoppable. Jordan averaged 40.4 minutes per game, yes, 40 minutes a night, and made every single one count. League-leading 35 points, 5.5 rebounds, 5.9 assists, league-leading 3.2 steals, and 1.6 blocks. Those last couple are ridiculous for a guard who was also the team's entire offensive engine. How in the world did he have the energy to do all of this? It wasn't all perfect though. His three-point percentage was a career worst 13%, so he was mortal after all. But from two-point range, nearly 55%. And if you tried to guard him, he'd basically end your night, legally of course. Under head coach Doug Collins, the Bulls finally made real progress, winning 50 games for the first time since the mid-70s, and that came from relying on Jordan to a truly absurd degree. A 34.1% usage rate, top 5 in his entire career. To understand just how dominant Jordan was that season, consider this. He averaged 35 points per game. The second place scorer, Dominique Wilkins at 30.7 points per game. That's a 4.3 point gap, the kind of statistical chasm that separates the elite from the transcendent. Larry Bird came in third at 29.9 points per game, followed by Charles Barkley and Karl Malone. Jordan was operating on a completely different level. And here's what makes it even more absurd. Wilkins, Bird, and Barkley were all having career years. These weren't role players Jordan was outscoring. These were Hall of Famers in their prime. Yet Jordan still made them look ordinary by comparison. When you're making Larry Bird look like a distant third in scoring, you're rewriting what dominance means. The result? Jordan led the league in scoring and took home both the MVP and the Defensive Player of the Year awards. That made him the first player in NBA history to win both in the same season. A feat only Hakeem Olajuwon and Giannis Antetokounmpo have matched since. But here's the kicker. Neither Hakeem nor Giannis did it while averaging 30 plus points, let alone 35. And they both had far better supporting casts. Yeah, Scottie Pippen and Horace Grant would eventually grow into championship caliber co-stars, but back then, they were just rookies, 7th and 8th on the team in minutes, each averaging under 8 points per game. To put it into perspective, Scottie Pippen averaged just 7.9 points per game that season, Horace Grant 7.7 points per game. The Bulls' second leading scorer was forward Charles Oakley at 12.5 points per game. After Jordan, the drop-off was staggering. Compare that to the competition. The Celtics had Bird, McHale and Parrish. The Lakers had Magic and Kareem. The Pistons had Isaiah, Dumas, Lambeer and Rodman. The Bulls had Michael Jordan and a bunch of guys who would have been role players on any other contender. Jordan often said he didn't want to lead the league in scoring. He wanted to make his teammates better the way Magic and Bird elevated theirs. But for Chicago to win, he had to score in bunches. That year, Jordan's dominance wasn't just about scoring, it was about how often he did it. He dropped 40 or more points in 18 different games. That's nearly once every 4 games, and his consistency was just as terrifying. Only 3 times all year did he fail to crack 20 points. As sports historian Jack Silverstein put it in 2020, there is nothing like MJ's 87-88 season. The combination of being the league's best player, best scorer, best dunker, and the best defender is unprecedented. He had more famous seasons, but the all-round dominance of 88 stands out even in a run of gems. And he's right. Beyond scoring, Jordan's defense that season was on another level. He posted career highs in steals and blocks per game, completely terrorizing opposing offenses. But what fueled that defensive explosion was classic MJ, another one of his I took it personal moments. Jordan's competitiveness is the stuff of legend. So when he was left off the all-defensive team in 87, it lit a fire that only he could turn into destruction. He felt disrespected, overlooked, and he wasn't about to let that slide. Especially since he'd already made history that year as the first player ever to record 200 steals and 100 blocks in a single season. And to make matters worse, Michael Cooper of the Lakers took home the Defensive Player of the Year award. That was gasoline on the fire. Jordan told Sports Illustrated in 1987, "Michael Cooper is great at ball denial, but check his other stats. This league gives defensive awards on reputation. It just teased me off." Even coaches around the league couldn't believe the snub. Former Bulls legend Jerry Sloan said, "I'm not sure Michael's not one of the best defensive players in basketball. He doesn't hound you to death. He's just got so much athletic ability, he can cover anybody." So when the 1988 season came around, Jordan made it personal, and he came back with a vengeance. By the end of the year, he claimed the Defensive Player of the Year award for himself. And let's talk about something that often gets overlooked. Jordan's sheer physical durability in 87-88. He played all 82 games at 40.4 minutes per night. That's nearly the entire game, every single night, for 6 months straight. Most stars today consider load management essential. Jordan, he was playing full games while leading the league in scoring, steals, and defensive intensity. At 24 years old, Jordan was at his absolute athletic peak. His combination of speed, vertical leap, endurance, and body control was unlike anything the league had ever seen before. He could explode to the rim for a dunk in the first quarter and still have the energy to lock down the opponent's best player in the fourth. That kind of two-way dominance at that volume simply doesn't exist anymore. The 87-88 Bulls were elite defensively, jumping from the 11th best defense to 3rd in the league. And remember, this was before Scottie Pippen became a starter. He was a rookie coming off the bench, starting 0 games. That means the Bulls' defense was anchored by a guard, Michael Jordan, not a center and not some defensive specialist, just the most competitive human on the planet, turning every possession into a nightmare. It was terrifying to run an offense anywhere near Michael Jordan. But the crazy part, even with all that dominance, the moments are what people still talk about. Because 1988 wasn't just about consistency, it was about explosions. One of Michael Jordan's most memorable performances during the 87-88 season came on January 29, 1988 against the New Jersey Nets. Jordan recorded a career-high 10 steals and scored 32 points on 14 of 18 shooting in just 27 minutes, leading the Bulls to a commanding 120-93 win at home. It was a masterclass in two-way dominance. His quick hands, anticipation, and relentless energy turned defense into instant offense, sparking Chicago's transition game and suffocating the Nets from start to finish. And then came the weekend that felt like a coronation. That All-Star weekend in Chicago was when the world officially learned what the city already knew. Michael Jordan wasn't just the most spectacular player alive, he was the best player. Though the Bulls were still years away from their first championship, this weekend cemented the path that would make them unstoppable. It began with the 1988 Slam Dunk Contest, arguably the greatest in NBA history. The stage was set, Jordan versus Dominique Wilkins, also known as the human highlight film. Two elite high flyers in their athletic prime, both former dunk champions, both out to prove they were the ultimate showman. But this was different. It was Chicago, it was Jordan's home court, and the energy in the building felt like something out of a movie. Wilkins was putting on a show, windmilling his way to a lead that forced Jordan to dig deep. With one dunk left, he needed a 49 out of 50 to win. He stood at the baseline, dribbling slowly, surveying the floor, then he took off. One long stride, a few dribbles, and a lift-off from the free throw line. You've seen the photo, Air Jordan, mid-flight, eyes locked on the rim. It was a declaration, and when the judges flashed their scores, a perfect 50. From there, the All-Star game itself was inevitable. Jordan followed the dunk crown with a 40-point performance on 17 for 23 shooting, adding 8 rebounds, 4 steals, 4 blocks, and 3 assists, easily earning MVP honours. At that moment, the entire world knew who Michael Jordan was. But arguably, his most defining regular season performance came 2 months later, and it set the stage for one of the fiercest rivalries in basketball history. The Bulls and Pistons already had bad blood, but on Easter Sunday in '88, Jordan poured gasoline on the fire. He dropped 59 points on Detroit's home floor, hitting 21 of his 27 shots and 17 of 19 free throws, whilst also adding 6 assists, 4 rebounds, 2 steals, and 2 blocks. Chicago won 112-110, but more importantly, Jordan made the Pistons snap. Detroit's head coach, Chuck Daly, had seen enough. We made up our minds right then and there that Michael Jordan was not going to beat us by himself again. We had to commit to a total team concept to get it done. And so, the infamous Jordan rules were born, a defensive scheme designed solely to stop one man. So what exactly were the Jordan rules? Chuck Daly's defensive blueprint was brutally simple. Make Jordan see a different defense every time he touched the ball. If Jordan drove baseline, he'd meet a double team. If he went the middle, a third defender would rotate over. If he caught the ball on the wing, instant pressure. The goal wasn't just to stop him, it was to punish him. The Pistons would force Jordan left, away from his dominant right hand. They'd body him on every cut, grab him off the ball, and deliver hard fouls whenever he attacked the rim. Dennis Rodman, Joe Dumars, and Isaiah Thomas would rotate defenders constantly, never letting Jordan get comfortable. And if he somehow got past the first defender, Bill Laimbeer was waiting in the paint, ready to deliver a message. It was physical, borderline violent, and completely legal under 1980s rules. The Pistons turned defense into psychological warfare, and for the next 3 years, it worked. Jordan would score, but his body paid the price. And more importantly, his teammates couldn't capitalize on the attention he drew. The Jordan rules weren't just a defensive scheme, they were a survival strategy. Because by 1988, the Pistons realized that playing Jordan straight up was basketball suicide. Because in 1988, stopping Jordan wasn't about basketball, it was about survival. As great as his regular season was, the real test and the true stage for legends comes in the playoffs. And in 1988, Jordan took that stage against the Cleveland Cavaliers and delivered another unforgettable performance. The Chicago Bulls and Cleveland Cavaliers share a long history of heated encounters, but back in 1988, it was Michael Jordan who single-handedly derailed Cleveland's rise every time they got close. In the first round of the 1988 playoffs, Jordan made NBA history by becoming the first player ever to record back-to-back 50-point games in the postseason. In Game 1 against the Cavs on April 28th, he dropped 50 points on 19 for 35 shooting, nailing all 12 of his free throws. Then came a classic Jordan moment, one born from pure competitiveness. After Game 1, Cleveland's Ron Harper, who had missed that matchup, claimed that Jordan wouldn't have scored that many if he'd been guarding him. Of course, Jordan heard it. And 3 nights later, in Game 2, he delivered a ruthless response. 55 points on 24 for 45 shooting, including a perfect 7 for 7 from the line, putting Chicago up 2-0 in the series. The Cavs fought back to force a decisive Game 5, but Jordan wouldn't let history slip away. he finished with 39 points on 12 for 22 shooting, powering the Bulls to a 107-101 win, their first playoff series victory in 7 years. Chicago's run ended the next round against Detroit, where the Pistons' infamous Jordan rules was successfully tested in a high-stakes battle. The Bulls fell 4-1, and the message was clear. Jordan might have been the best player in the world, but his team wasn't ready yet. The loss stung, but it taught Jordan everything he needed to know. He couldn't beat the Pistons alone, not yet. He needed his teammates to grow up, he needed to get stronger, and he needed to learn how to make the game easier for everyone else. That lesson would take 3 more years to fully absorb, but when it finally clicked in 1991, the dynasty was inevitable. The Pistons won the war, but only because they had to invent an entire rule book to survive the battle. And that's what should have terrified the entire NBA. In a league ruled by dynasties, Jordan was a dynasty of one. Bird had McHale, Magic had Kareem, Isaiah had a squad. Jordan, just himself, and the fire in his veins. The 1987-88 season wasn't just one of the greatest in Jordan's career, it was a unique intersection of NBA greatness. 4 dynasties, all at different stages of their evolution. The Celtics, champions 3 times in the 80s, were beginning to fade but still dangerous. The Lakers, 5-time champs that decade, remained elite even past their prime. The Pistons were ascending fast, ready to seize the throne. And the Bulls, still young and raw, were taking shape before everyone's eyes. Those teams were stacked with Hall of Famers, each era defining in their own way, and yet, amid all of that talent, Jordan still stood above them all. It wasn't just about numbers or awards, it was the way he played. The 80s were filled with flash and flair, Magic, Larry, Isaiah, and Mike. But Jordan's fire burned differently. He made greatness look violent, beautiful, and inevitable. And before he could rule the league, he had to take the hits, stand tall, and learn to fight back. That's why, when the Bulls finally conquered the throne in 1991, Jordan collapsed on the floor and cried. Because before he became the face of a dynasty, he was a one-man army. The world had seen superstars before, but 1988 Jordan was something else, a force of nature. This was no preview, this was the beginning of a basketball empire built by one man. There's dominance, and then there's what Michael Jordan did in 1988. Scoring champion, steals leader, MVP, defensive player of the year, all-star MVP, dunk contest champion, all in the same year. We may never see another like it. Was 1988 Jordan the greatest individual season in NBA history? Let us know in the comments. Remember to hit the like button, subscribe for more legendary basketball stories, then check out one of these videos on your screen now.